This is just going to be a quick one this time. And this is really good, solid advice. When you first get to where you're going and you're settled down, there's no movement, no noise, sit quiet and listen to your environment. Your environment will be talking to you. Study the animals. Study what they eat. Even acorns are edible. You have to boil them because they're bitter, but they provide nutrition. The roots of cat and nine tails are also good, sort of an equivalent to a potato, you could say. Pine nuts are another good source. Pine sap is good for a sealant. Pine sap is also good for a sealant for a wound, as long as it's clean and isn't infested with dead bugs. Spiderwebs make an excellent bandage. It helps you clot a lot faster. I've got a lot in my head as I am in my mid-50s. And I need to sit down and make a list before I can really do a video that has a lot in it of content that you can use. So this is it for now. Just remember, you don't need a fishing line and a hook to catch fish. You can build a trap within the stream or the river that will catch your fish for you. Don't have to worry so much about scent because the water will wash it away over time. The same thing with the partridge traps or other small animals. You could use it for those just as well. Myself, I don't know how, even if I was really, really hungry, if I could eat a possum. And there's a reason for me saying I don't think I can eat a possum. A possum eats dead things, rotting dead things. Ugh. And don't eat an amarillo. Don't even touch one. They are capable of carrying leprosy. I caught one one time in Texas and I picked it up by its tail and it completely covered my right leg with poop. I couldn't let that thing go fast enough. I didn't want to kill it. I was just wanting to study it, count the rings on it. It wasn't having any of it. So stay away from possums, and stay away from armadillos. Those are two no-nos. Don't go there. Even in fresh water, there are clams. That's another resource for protein. Kelp is good to eat. Seaweed, certain types of it. It's high in iodine. Iodine, uh, they did a study on people here in Maine because we seem to be more creative. There's a lot of artists and writers and other arts that come from the people of our state. And they've connected it to the fact of the iodine that is in our diet, and it improves the brain function. And I can't naysay that at all. I really can't. I really believe that that medical study was right on, and I believe it was even published in the American Journal of Medicine. So you do yourself a favor by doing so. Also, dandelions, they're not a weed. You can make tea out of dandelions. You can make wine out of dandelions. Also, they're edible. Rose hips, they're edible. I could just keep going on, but I'd have to stop and keep thinking, and that's not being fluid in the video from point to point to point. So that's why I'm going to just back off for now and make my list of things that are edible. And also the inner bark of some trees, such as aspen, that's edible also. Now, there's a test you can do as far as foods that are unknown to you. You take it and you rub just a little bit on the gum, on your gum. If it doesn't burn, rub a little bit more. And if you have no ill effects, eat one. Still no ill effects, it's safe to eat. You always have to test your food. And if you don't know about mushrooms, about which are which, stay away from them. You'll end up killing yourself. Some of those are very deadly and will put you down in a heartbeat. That's why I recommend you get a book on the local fauna for food and medicine. We don't want you eating morning glories either, as they are in nature also. And even the grains of some grasses are edible, will supply you with protein. So that's something that I'm going to start on tomorrow, because I need to go and get some more resource material besides what I have here in my memory. Whatever I post here, I want to make sure it's valid. I don't want to be misleading in the information and cause harm to come to anybody else because I gave you wrong information. Now, about skinning the deer. I told you about how when you make the incision down the legs to the crotch area, what you need to do at that point is you need to lift up the skin by the hair if possible, so you're not grabbing the skin tissue itself, because right underneath that skin tissue is that inner sac that I was telling you about. And so you cut it down and everything, that inner sac is still there. That means when you skin it, you are not puncturing any of the inner organs also. Then you can pull that inner sac away from the abdomen cavity, slice it, and just pull them out nice and clean. Now, if you're into sausage, you clean the intestines, boil them. I don't know about how to grind things up, how to make your own grinder, unless you are able to make a kiln and know how to use blacksmithing arts or how to use molds like the lost wax method. But that is something also that I will be going into, because they found some here that predate colonial period where people had been coming to America, and they found those kilns and the remnants of iron that they had used making their tools. This is an old art that is still in practice by some people. Unfortunately, we just had a blacksmith here in Maine go out of business. Otherwise, I'd have, I think I will do some research and try to find out who that individual is and go pay him a visit. Yeah, I think I owe that to all of us. So I'll give you a heads up on that as well. It would be very convenient to know how to be able to make metal tools. Not everyone is going to be satisfied with chipping stones as I would. You need to bring whetstones. You don't have to have oil. Spit works good. Water works good. Anything you have, I would pack at least one big tub of Vaseline, and you lightly coat any of your metal tools with it. You use it, recoat the area that has been cleared of protective coating. Rust is going to be a big issue. even if it's stainless, because after time, even that will start to break down.